Welcome. In this video I am going to attempt to survive 100 days in Minecraft. You might be asking, why am I not doing this in hardcore? Well, you will see later. So I made a world, spawned in and instantly started to do the only reasonable thing, punching a tree with my bare knuckles. By the way, you might ask what the hell is that thing? Well, I was testing this system I built and forgot I have MSI Afterburner turned on. Sorry about that. I'm a human being after all. I forget things. Remove it after day 5. Anyways, I crafted a pickaxe, mined some coal, crafted some better tools, and then went straight to violence. After getting a bit of food, I felt like exploring a bit, and found this shipwreck. Tried to find the chest, but I told you, I am pretty rusty. I couldn't figure it out where was the damn chest, and I gave up. Don't worry, I come back to it later. After failing, I ran around looking for a good spot to set up camp, and this would work. A nice flat area with a river and lava nearby. Cut down some trees, made a furnace for cooking all this meat, and hit the bed. On day 2 I figured I needed some better tools to start building, so I went down to the mine and found this weird cave. Caves were not like this last time I played the game. Got a little bit of iron, fought off some monsters and realized this cave went nowhere. So I went back up, built this little house frame. It's not much, but it will keep me safe for now. Planted some sugar cane, lured a couple of chickens into my trap, watched the sunset and went to sleep. The next day I wanted to make my chicken farm a bit bigger, because the original design was far too small for my ambitions. Stole some pumpkins, replanted sugarcane, and went to farm wood. And look at that, I even got some apples. While farming trees I felt the urge to do some violence, and unleashed my wrath on these poor fish. While slaughtering fish I spotted some iron ore, and took them. Then went back to home and made some storage, and tried to organize my stuff. It took a bit longer than as expected, and it was already dark, but I didn't go to sleep yet, because I noticed these guys and I give them a fair welcome for trespassing on my private property. On day 4 I wake up nice and early in hopes of finishing the house. I finished the second floor and give up. I figured I needed to make a farm. Those chickens will take a while to feed me. I made a pumpkin and wheat farm, replaced this ugly dirt floor with nice wooden plank floor, and hit the bed. Day 5 was spent building a nether portal from the lava lake nearby. Went into the nether and got instantly screamed at by this guy. He did not want me there. I gave him a taste of his own medicine and ran back home. I was completely naked, and I would probably die. Cleared some land, built a bridge, put these strange fire light things, I don't know, then set sail. I wanted to check out the area nearby. By the way, look at these shaders. Look at the water. I actually found civilization nearby. Said hi, borrowed some of their stuff, made a friend, borrowed some more stuff, and then I decided that I needed to move here. Look at this place, look at this huge flat area. Who wouldn't want to live here? And that's what I did on day 6. Set up a little camp here, prepared my horse and went back for my stuff. I didn't want to drown my horse, so I tried to go around the river, and then took really long time. Lots of traveling. While going the extra mile I found this ruined portal. It had some useful stuff. Then I almost died. Remember when you asked why this isn't hardcore? Well, this is why. If I can almost die in a clear daylight while blindly running into the single block of lava here, I really didn't stand a chance in hardcore. So I panicked, wasted the only golden apple I had. Pretty disappointed in myself, I continued forward. While trying to get home before dark, I stumbled into this town and decided to say hi. And by saying hi I mean steal everything I could get my hands on, and went forward, but it was getting pretty dark and I was not going to risk sleeping through the night. What? Went forward, but it was getting pretty dark, and I was not risking going through night, so I slept. While coming back, I found that shipwreck, and now that I had better shovel, I decided I will find this chest, even if it takes to dig out the whole ship. My persistence was rewarded, and I was not disappointed. Even found a second chest. Back to the mission, getting back home. Parked my horse on the chickens, grabbed all my stuff, stuffed everything I could into the horse, left no witnesses, and went to the new spot. I couldn't make it there before dark, it was pretty far away, so I spent the night on this cliff while my horse was enjoying himself in the river. The aide started by trying to drown my horse. I tried getting him out of the water, but he did not want to cooperate. Finally, we got there and I breeded my cats. Look at these cute guys. I started collecting wood for my new home, and it took a whole day. Started day 9 by clearing some of the land and a little bit of landscaping. Okay, maybe a lot of landscaping. Maybe a whole day of landscaping. Planted my sugar cane and made a little farm, and it was already dark. Day 10 I did some more farming, planted those carrots and potatoes from shipwreck, cleared some more land and started laying the shape of my new house. This is what I came up with. It wasn't really any bigger than my last house, but I figured that was all I needed for now. Put down some doors, trimmed the frame and started to place down the floor. Construction lasted well into day 11. Installed some lights, windows, then decided I needed to make a mine where I could spend the next 2 days. I had no iron left. It was already day 11 and I am running around half naked. I dug down, trying to make a staircase, but I kept mining into a water caves. Look at that, I mined straight into this thing. I forgot what it's called. But it looked good. It makes cool sounds when you walk on it. I had broken my pickaxe, but luckily I had brought some crafting table and some sticks, in case this happened. And I could make some more, without having to walk all the way back to the top. I found my way into this huge cave. I was terrified, but I gathered the courage to carry forward, and look at that. My first diamond. Literally. It was only 1 diamond. I killed some more monsters, mined some more of that good stuff, and headed back thinking this was enough for that day. Day 13 I put my iron to smelt, killed these guys, farmed some more sugar cane. I needed to get a lot more pepper for enchanting table. Created some storage, tried to sort it out kinda, but that took a while. Finally made some armor and started to building a foundation for my wall. I was still trying to figure out the design while sleeping. Continued to build a wall on day 14. Lots of building, digging, flattening out grass. But then I got bored and decided I needed some more animals, especially cows for leather, so I made a couple of animal pens, light them up, watched sunset and went to bed with clear skies over my head. Time to find some animals to trap them here for the rest of their lives. They had no idea what was awaiting them. Now I got a cow and a sheep, but I needed some more, so I built another one. And another one. Farmed some crops, fed these guys and went to find some chickens. We couldn't make it before the nightfall, so we visited this guy, and he was kind enough to offer his own bed. Brought the chickens home, fed these guys. I have no comment on this clip. It had to be done. Cleared this hill to make room for the wall, made it all look pretty, farmed some sugar cane and saw more sheep. I needed them. Before going to sleep, I made this book, where I would write down important coordinates and would always forget to bring it with me, so it was pretty useless. Decided it was the time to finish my house, crafted another axe and went to work. Met this guy, look dude, Whatever you're selling, I ain't buying, yo. That was pretty terrible Breaking Bad reference. Needed quite a lot of wood and I didn't want to come back here for a while. Chopping wood can get pretty old fast. Chopped almost 2 axes worth of wood and headed home. On day 18 I started feeding my boys as usual, placed a bit of wood on the wall, but I realized I didn't have nearly enough, gave up and went to finally build a roof over my head. Finished floor, built a staircase, finished the roof, but that wasn't good enough. I had to make it look good, so I started on building a second story. Building this trim for a roof took a whole day, but I am happy how it looked so far. Almost finished the roof on day 19, but I didn't have enough wood. Went to chop the rest of the wood needed to finish it and went to bed. Finally finished the house, went to explore nearby area. Whole footage for day 20 is just me killing animals. I guess I felt angry or hungry. I don't know what I was doing here, honestly. Woke up in this forest and continued exploring. Remembered that if you feed dolphins fish, they take you out to nearby treasure. And look at that, it worked! Found another shipwreck and it had bamboo in it, which was huge, since I would be able to craft some scaffolding. Also found this ruined portal, nothing good here besides the obsidian. Did some more killing, even though I didn't need to. I stumbled upon this town, mined coal and iron in this mountain and went back to bed. Ran back home to feed my boys, installed a new escape-proof getting over the wall system, did some more organizing my stuff. With this found obsidian I could now craft an enchanting table. And I even had enough bookshelves to make a full level 30 setup. Crafted some new tools and got ready for a new adventure before heading to bed. Look at this beautiful sunset. Hopped into the boat and set sail for that new town I saw yesterday. It took a while getting there, but I wanted their stuff. Completely raided the village, even stole the wood from their farms while they watched me without being able to do anything about it. Kinda depressing actually. I was about to leave the town when I saw this weird out of place log. I thought about it. A bit strange. I realized it had to be in a ship buried in sand. Luckily for me, this wasn't my first ship. I knew exactly where the treasure chests were. There was even a treasure map. It was getting dark already, but I needed to get there. Who knows what's in there? On my way I saw this thing and explored it. Turns out the place also had the same treasure map. Made my way to the buried chest spot and went to sleep. Located the exact spot where the treasure map had been buried, and look at that. Isn't that amazing? While trying not to drown, I took the stuff and headed back. Fed my boys and then decided it was time to go back to mine. I really got ready this time. Made my way down there, fought off some monsters, mined some goodies, the usual stuff. I actually found this zombie spawner. It didn't really have anything good in there. But I made sure to screenshot this location for further potential XP farm. Look at that, this is why you should always bring water bucket while mining. This zombie appreciated my thoughtfulness. With enough diamonds I made myself a pickaxe and collected the needed obsidian for portal. Found this thing. I had no idea what this is. I knew very little about the new update. Only thing that I knew is that the warden was terrifying and insanely strong. And to me, this looked like the spot where he would spawn. There were sensor things nearby and triggered a lot of creepy sounds. I realized the thing gave me experience and mined it all. When I made my way back up, it was day 26. I had been down there for quite a while, and I had enough diamonds for a pickaxe and a sword. I felt ready to conquer the nether, so I built a portal and entered it. Mined quite a lot of quartz and set up a little shack here, in case of any dangers. While trying to locate nether fortress, I found a bastion. It had some good stuff in there, but not what I was looking for. So I decided not to push my luck and head home, put down my stuff and went straight to enchanting. Fed my animals, got a new horse, and then in the middle of the night I started to murder entire generations of cows for whatever reason. Then I then I laid in my bed, thinking about what have I done. Day 29 started really good. Look at that, you can really see how happy I was. I got so hyped up that I murdered almost all of my sheep and chicken. Then like nothing happened, I went to farm, decided to decorate my house a bit more to feel more cozy. Made myself a better bed, did some work on the ceiling and hit the bed. The next day I started working on the basement, when I was interrupted by this creepy looking old woman drinking in public and making inappropriate sounds. It had to be done. I enchanted my gear, even named my pickaxe for good luck, and made my way back into the mine. I had to give my new pickaxe a test drive, and holy shit, it really gave me the luck I needed. Look at that, all these diamonds. Fortune 3 really is the best enchantment out there. I actually spent quite a while down here, especially near this beautiful cave. I've never actually seen one of these before. I went back up and continued working on a basement. I wanted a decently sized basement for my future operations down here, so it took a while. Woke up to feed my animals, decorated my house a bit, did some more enchanting and went to plant this huge tree. Then stood there for a while waiting for saplings to drop. Decided to make a auto smelter and look at me failing. First of all I built it wrong. Coal is supposed to go inside or in the back. Don't worry, I realized it pretty quickly and fixed it. But I forgot, I was using blast furnaces, not regular ones, and these ones can't cook food. So I got upset, tore it all down and rebuilt it in the basement properly this time. On day 35 I started as usual. I can't let them starve. Harvested all of my crops. Cut down another one of these huge trees for wood, then again stood there for saplings. Then went to work on basement floor, but these creepers had other plans for this space. The rest of the day was spent punching stone and placing wood. On the morning of day 36 I got a visitor. I welcomed him with open arms, but he was not kind enough to give me anything useful in return. Later his brother wanted revenge and we met down in the basement to brawl it out like real men. Of course, I took care of him. Felt like today was the day I had to return to Nether again. I got prepared accordingly and went for it. I have to turn off shaders in here. I can't see a thing and get blind when looking at the lava pools. Met this friendly group of guys. They could probably take me out in seconds if I wasn't careful. I took care of them and robbed everything they had. Then went back home to store their things and instantly went to look for Nether for Fortress. I was tunneling for a really long time until I finally found it, looted it and actually got a Wither Skull. While making my way out of there, came back home and organized my stuff, fed the boys and hit the bed. The next day I woke up and undressed all of my sheep. I guess they would feel warm anyways. How could you freeze when you are pressed against like 10 other dudes? I almost finished the basement but didn't have enough wood. After chopping down an entire tree, I could finally finish it. I also built this ceiling from deep slate. It's not perfect, but I kinda like it. It was the only material I had. Today I've had enough of manual labor while farming sugarcane, and I am preparing for automatic sugarcane farm. 40 days was enough of this for me, but we will get to that tomorrow. Try to get some new sword enchanting done today. But nothing too great happened. Fire aspect will be nice when dealing with animals. Speaking of which, I had to trade on everyone, even the chickens. Spend the rest of the day clearing out land and filling in holes for a nice flat area where the sugarcane farm will be. Sugarcane project continued for the next few days, with breaks in between for watching sunset and resting. A few finishing touches and the spot was ready. I started building. Took a while to remember how this thing had to be built. This is like one of the most basic ones, but it will do the job. Only one floor today, but there is always tomorrow. And tomorrow it was, the day I was building this thing. Look at that. Hopefully this will bring some serious paper. The next day I felt disgusted by the wall and tore it all down. Made some paths as well as did some landscaping. Cut down a tree and went to bed. Following day I needed more wood. I made my way to the forest only to realize I had some wood of my own I needed to release. So I dug myself underground, took the nastiest shit you've ever seen. It felt like a fucking demon was trying to get out of me. Once I came back I felt like a different man, but it was already dark and I went back home. So I finished chopping down trees the next day. I needed them to expand my storage room. It was getting kinda crowded at home. I almost finished it today, only needs a few finishing touches. Installed roof, some windows, a door and it's done. I will make it look pretty later. For now, this is just a place to dump all of the dirt and other materials that take most of my block chests. I did some trapdoors around the house and look at that. I really like this design. You know, like those door things you put on the outside of a window? Well, this one is like halfway opened. Then I realized my sugarcane farm was not working efficiently, and I needed glass on the front. So I crafted and placed all of the glass I had at the time, moved some of the stuff to new storage and went to sleep. On day 47 I started new project. I wanted to make a villager breeder because those guys were not safe out there on their own. I started digging a tunnel that would lead me to the breeder. Then I went into the nether to trade some of my gold with these guys. After a while they gave me so much stuff. Good business. I said thank you, shook their hands and headed back. I needed some books and wanted to locate the stronghold, so I used the pearls I traded to craft the Ace of Ender and went to search for the portal. It was pretty far away and once I got there I realized it was under the sea. That made things a bit more difficult. But I didn't hesitate and jumped in. Once I got there I instantly saw the library and cleared it. But I also wanted to find the portal itself, to know how many eyes it was missing. I searched for like a half an hour, till I finally found the portal room. It was completely empty, but luckily for me I had been prepared. I activated it, but I didn't jump in yet, because I wasn't close to being ready. I wrote down the coordinates and headed back to base. On my way there, something shiny caught my eye. It was another ruined portal. I spent the night here. Not much happened here for the rest of the day. On day 50 I started by removing my old farm, expanding the new one even more and planting it. But I didn't have enough time, so I will continue tomorrow. Finished planting and realized I had visitors. But unfortunately he had no legal reason to be on my property, so I evacuated him immediately. Did some really good progress on villager breeder and that was it for day 51. Day 52 I finished digging and crafted a lot of beds. I also tried to take some llamas and it got pretty ugly. I was hoping they would calm down later. Built a farm down here because I was not going to waste my hard-earned food to feed those villagers. They would have to feed their own kind. All I can offer them is safety, work and some business. Started kidnapping some of those inhabitants from a nearby town, but daylight was burning, and I had to spend the night with one of them, down here, where the peasants live. After a nap I kidnapped a bunch of more dudes, in hopes that they would not be traditionally sexually orientated. But I guess there are no genders in Minecraft. Still feels kinda gay. They look like dudes. Then I expanded the basement towards my sugarcane farm so I could access it without having to climb up. The next day I finished the tunnel in full height. Built ceiling, and look at that, a golem spawned. Now I don't even have to worry about safety no more. Look at the size of this guy. Who would want to mess with him? The chamber was already producing me children. The plan was working. I crafted some business workstations and created a room for them. The plan was to make a lot of paper and trade it for money. Another night with these peasants. I can't be asked to go all the way up to my room. I opened the gate for just a second and this guy couldn't wait to work for me. It was a little bit tricky to put him in the exact spot I wanted, but I got it done. 7 more to go and this room will be completed. I didn't really want children, they have to grow up first. The child was worthless to me, and I had 3 of them. Seems like they were the only ones wanting to escape. After days of work I got 3 there and 1 child. Traded a bit and called it a day. Day 56 was spent building sugarcane farm front, farming and doing some charity. Then I built a fishing farm and enchanted some fishing rods. I would spend the next few days fishing, because I needed XP and I had to walk the dog. Also, it's extra food, it never hurts. After 3 in-game days of fishing, this is all that I got. I don't really know what I expected, but it was kinda disappointing. Went back to villagers and kidnapped some more guys. I wanted to get at least one of them to trade me some mending books. And it took a whole day of just breaking and placing his business workstation for him to finally give me what I wanted. I know you all expected me to fight Ender Dragon a day 100, but I really wanted to use Elytra and wanted to get XP from the dragon. With that being said, I started to get ready for the dragon fight. It would be ideal to get some slow falling potions, but I had to work with what I had. I brewed some potions and traded with this random guy for arrows. I didn't really have the best gear, but I liked the challenge. So I wrote down the portal coordinates, and in the middle of the night I set sail to Stronghold. You can see the nerves kicking in, but I came this far, I wasn't going to back down. I was here, there is no going back now. I did it. I conquered the end. It's free. Now I needed some ender pearls to get out of here. I threw the pearl into the portal and to my surprise I actually spawned next to the end city. I was so happy, until I realized it had no elytras. But I still cleared it, turned off the shaders for better visibility, turned off my render distance, and there it was. How lucky can one guy get? I got the elytra, cleared out this one as well, and flew around looking for more. I had some pretty intense fights with a swarm of shulkers, but my bow was too much for them to handle. On day 63 I was going back home with 3 shulkers filled with entity loot. I got lost reading end screen, I've never actually took the time to read it. I enjoyed it. Came home, sorted my stuff and looked at the sunset. I kinda wasted my levels without getting anything good, farmed some pumpkins and watermelon, and went to trade with the villagers. Then I went to kidnap some more walkers, until I had all 8. broke all the bookshelves they traded me to sell them back at profit, and went back to sleep feeling accomplished. I was looking for those brown mushrooms on day 65, so I went and flew around in the nether and found them pretty quickly. Went home and started preparing for villager infection. I realized I don't have enough gold, so I went down to the mine. Nothing much to see here, just straight up 2-day footage of me mining. I took 3 shulker boxes with me and told myself, I can't leave this place before all of them were full. This is everything that I got. My main focus was to get gold, but I got a lot of iron as well, and that will come in handy. So now, once I got the gold, I was finally prepared to infect the villagers. Watched the sunset and went to bed. On day 66 I harvested crops, then sorted my chest a bit and took a name tag for a zombie, whose only purpose will be to infect villagers with different diseases. Waited for nighttime, made myself a bodyguard and named him Igoriok. This guy was a straight up legend later into the video, so don't skip. So I got on the horse and went looking for zombies. I would need a small one. The big ones really take a long time to infect the villagers in my experience. I found 2 of these pretty quickly and invited them into my home. Made a chamber for them, not to disturb others while we will conduct business. I created a pretty scuffed but working system of infecting them, and that's what I did for a while. I almost forgot to put my difficulty on hard. If I remember correctly, the villagers die otherwise, so yeah, glad I didn't forget that. Day 68 still infecting and curing them. I wanted to get the best prices. Nothing more than 1 paper for 1 emerald would satisfy me. Yep, still infecting. Finally, on day 70 I had the prices down to almost nothing. Maxed out all the villagers and made some huge profits. All this work paid off in the end. The best thing is these villagers are quite dumb. They sell me bookshelves for 1 emerald and I sell them back books at 3. After some trading I decided I didn't have enough paper and wanted to expand sugarcane farm. Got all the needed materials and was ready for work tomorrow. I won't bore you with this. The next few days were spent building sugarcane farm. I got it to 9 floors. Did some business with the villagers, mainly buying glass for the sugarcane farm. But I still didn't have enough. Harvested my crops and then went to collect materials needed for a new wall. Since I didn't have my old one anymore, I needed some protection. Was digging till dark, got a bit of sand and went home. The reason I went to dig sand was just to get sandstone. But then I realized that I could just mine sandstone itself, so I went back and mined until a full shulker of sandstone. Came home and started to work on the wall design. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I liked it, until I went to bed and it literally looked like a graveyard. I had to flat out a lot of dirt, worked on the wall for a whole day, and this is the result. I really liked how it turned out at the end. It gives that rich people vibe. I actually forgot to record some days here, but I don't think I did anything important. Probably just farmed crops and breeded animals. On day 80 I decided to give my villagers a roof over their head, and I wanted to experiment with some designs. After 2 days of work, this is what I came up with. And I don't know how I feel about it. I usually build with spruce logs, so this is a new territory for me. The next whole day was spent trading with villagers and enchanting stuff. I wanted to get looting 3, to get wither skulls more easy. Now that I am ready, I went to collect those withered skulls. I already had 1, so I needed 2 more. At first I almost died, because I forgot I had my elytra on, and they deal a lot of damage. But once I was fully clothed, I stormed through them. Second wither skull was also pretty easy to get. It's always the third one that takes longer than necessary. I literally got the first 2 while killing like 10 wither skeletons. And to get the third one I had to kill more than 100 wither skeletons. I was here for 3 whole days just trying to survive and fight for my life, while swarms of blazes spawned around me and blasted me from every direction. The day of the wither fight. This day was a disaster and the reason why this video isn't in hardcore. I mined down to underground spot where I would kill the wither. Then I realized I didn't have a chest plate with me. But I thought I could kill him anyway. My laziness literally killed me, because I underestimated him and he smoked me. After that, I went down with the chest plate and killed him. Still almost died. The fight was harder than dragon fight. Day 87 and 88 was spent on the beacon project. I traded with the villagers to repair my stuff and wanted to build a beacon. I wanted to create it underground, use it to get haste for mining. That way I would insta-mine blocks and have infinite supply of stone. The idea was to make a railway down there to make traveling a lot easier. Once I got there, I constructed a beacon, but realized it had to have a hole right above the beacon block. So I wrote down the coordinates and went to break Minecraft's #1 rule. Then I mindlessly mined for days. I lost some footage again, so when editing this I literally had to go back into the Minecraft portal to record what I have done in the past days. Day 94 was spent breaking bookshelves and hunting creepers. Nothing interesting happened here. The next day I decided I needed a map, so I crafted 9 maps and made this. Look at this. What world isn't completed without a map? After making, I flew around exploring, trying to find the pillager outpost. I found it and got a bad omen 5, but I hadn't recorded it. I think this was because I had problems with the storage. My hard drive was full, and that's why the recording stopped. I fixed it later. Nothing really interesting happened here, just me flying around pillagers and sniping the guys with the flags. On the other hand, next few days was the most epic Minecraft battle I have experienced. I thought, how hard can this raid be? Bad Omen 5. Can't be that bad, right? Wrong. If I didn't have my dogs and Igoriok, I wouldn't be here alive anymore, so check this out. First waves were pretty simple enough, but when I felt the power of these fuckers with the axes, I instantly realized I needed to invest in better armor. Look at how much damage he deals. Here is a footage of how Igoriok died. I will always remember him. He gave his life so I could live. He took that wizard guy out, I don't know what is his name. If not him, I wouldn't be able to pick up that totem and would probably have died. Because of that, I made him a grave that he deserved. Then I thought of making some fireworks for the epic 100-day finale. And that's how I spent day 98. The end is near. I wanted to fight the dragon for a second time, for a grand finale. So I collected ghast tears today and got lost in the nether. Took me whole day just to get back. Imagine if I couldn't find my way back. What a depressing way to end 100 days series. So for day 100, we are respawning the dragon. I crafted the crystals I needed, prepared for the fight properly this time. I was not dying this time. I got to the portal and jumped in. Well, that was easy. Just shows you how far we've came in this world. I really enjoyed making this video. Playing like this, enjoying the game at my own pace, it brought back a lot of memories of when times were easier. I don't know if I will continue this world, maybe. But after this practice I would like to give a hardcore 100 days a shot. Hope you enjoyed this video, it took me like 2 weeks to make. Leave a like if you enjoyed it and dislike if you didn't. Hope to see you again in the near future and peace.